What's up, gamers? It's me again, Kylerbite, here with another PvP build. I recently released a 1-bar werewolf build and I thought, hey, I'd like to do the same with vampire. So here it is. This is a PvP Templar build that makes use of a lot of vampire skills, especially the ultimate, for those looking to swarm over the enemy. This build has huge damage and fantastic pressure that makes it impossible for your target to escape once you set your sights on them. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are with a PvP vampire build. First of all, we are a Templar, mainly because I wanted to make use of puncturing sweeps. We'll get to that later though. First of all, we'll show you the stat sheet. It's not going to be very representative of what we got going on because a lot of sets will be buffing us mid-combat. So you can see 22k Magicka, a huge health pool for survivability, almost 2k Magicka recovery, 1.1k stamina recovery. I say, and the spell damage and penetration are going to go through the roof with the sets that we've got on. 22k resistances and 1.8k crit resist. A couple of consumables and stuff. Well, the race, first off, we are an Imperial, which is great for the vampire, mainly because of red diamond, which reduces the cost of all your abilities, because the vampire increases the cost of your abilities. So that's really handy to have. We have the Astronaut Munderstone for increased Magicka recovery, and we are using Smoked Bear Haunch for the max health recovery, which isn't very helpful, but it's there, and Stamina Magicka recovery. And we are a Stage 3 vampire. I think that's where you're going to get the most benefits with the least amount of debuffs. It's really good to have Stage 3. Okay, so getting into the meat of the build, let's have a look at the gear. First off, it's a 1-bar vampire build. You're gonna have Oaken Soul no matter what. It gives you a huge amount of buffs, so you don't need the skills to use it, but it restricts you to 1 bar. This will be getting a change next patch, but you know, this build's all about being accessible and easier to play, so even with the changes next patch, it's still going to be worth running. It might be a bit weaker, but you know, it's still going to be better than anything else you can have on a 1-bar build. So we're going for Oaken Soul. Running with that, we're probably going to have one of my favourite sets in the game, which is Clever Alchemist, which gives you health, adding to that huge health pool, damage, and when you drink a potion during combat, you feel a rush of energy, increasing your weapon spell damage by a huge amount. So we've got this on 4 body pieces, and the other ring. So yeah, we could just use a potion at any time, and it will buff us tremendously. Paired with that, we're using the Balog's monster set, which gives you, the 1 piece gives you damage, and the 2 piece, when you use an ultimate ability, you gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of total ultimate consumed, and physical and spell penetration equal to 23 times the amount for 12 seconds. So what you want to do with this is save up as much ultimate as you can, even if your ultimate only costs 100. If you save up 500, you will get 500 weapon and spell damage and 23 times that in penetration. So you become absolutely incredible. So what we're doing is we're pairing all this together. So I will use a potion to give me that rush of energy. I will save up 500 ultimate, use that. Those together with the vampire ultimate, I become an unkillable monster. And it's incredibly fun to play. So of course the monster set is on the helm and shoulders. That leaves a body piece we're running for the trainee for extra health again. And then that means we got 3 spots left, so I've decided to go for willpower, which adds Magicka and damage. So that is on, we got a 2-handed maul. We're running 2-handed just because we want the crit charge skill. I'll talk about that later. And then the necklace, yes. The back bar doesn't matter because we can't use it anyway. Clever Alchemist is a craftable set, so you can have it in any weights you like. I've gone for 4 heavy, 2 medium and a light, so we have the heavy on the 3 big pieces, the helm, the body and the legs, and I've gone for the belt as well. Just having the 4 heavy puts my resistances a bit higher, which is useful. Medium on the hands and feet, Clever Alchemist, and then the light shoulders of Balog's. In terms of trait, I've gone for a couple of reinforced on the big pieces, impen on the 4 little pieces, and then I do have a divines on the helm for the extra magical recovery bundles we're using. Might not need it, you could change this to something else, maybe another reinforced or an impen. A bit survivable. We're absolutely fine for sustain, so you probably don't need this. In terms of enchantment, I've gone for 3 health on the big pieces as well, and then magicka on the rest. And the jewelry. The willpower necklace is arcane for the increased magicka and magical recovery, and then arcane and spell damage on the clever alchemist. I need to improve this, it's only blue, shame on me. And then we do have 1 swift for a bit of movement speed, which is very handy. Okay, so that's the gear. Let's go into the skills. Okay, so I've tried out a couple of other things. I wanted to use as many vampire skills as possible, just because, you know, it's a vampire build, and I'll try to make it work. Sadly, a lot of them are really bad for PvP. So, you know, we've used what we can just to try and make it fun. But first of all, we're going with Puncturing Sweep, which does a large amount of damage and heals you for the damage done, and reduces the movement speed, so the enemy can't get away from you. You're a terrifying vampire, they always try and get away from you. It's quite funny not letting them do that. So that's great to have, that's spammable. Also, a skill that stops people getting away from you is Stampede. This is a gap closer, does damage and puts an AoE on the ground. I did originally try this build with Sword and Shield, and I was using the Sword and Shield gap closer. What's it called? Shield charge. But I feel like I just needed a little bit of like damage over time, or a little bit of AoE. So I changed to 2-hand, and Stampede seems to be doing the job. So that's great to have. You just keep using it on them, and whenever they try, like if a sorcerer streaks away, you just chase them again with crit charge, and nobody can ever escape. Crit charge, and then hit them with the puncher and sweep. We have a heal, Resolving Vigor. I did try Breath of Life here, but I felt like it was better having a heal over time, so then I could pop Resolving Vigor and then jab, so I'm being healed by that and Puncturing Sweeps at the same time. Literally makes you unkillable. And, you know, we've got excess stamina, so why not have a stamina heal? Getting into the vampire skills, we have Simmering Frenzy. Allow your monstrous appetite to take hold, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 79 every 2 seconds. While toggled on, the health cost of this ability increases, but you cannot be healed by anyone other than yourself. I've noticed I could pretty much have this up almost at all times, especially if my ultimate is running. You can use this, it gives you weapon and spell damage, and, you know, it does damage, but if you're healing with Vigor and you're spamming jabs, you're going to be over healing anyway, so it's definitely worth the trade. And the other we are going for is Elusive Mist, which is your oh shit, I'm gonna die skill. Dissolve into a dark mist, reducing your damage taken from players by 75%, and granting you Major Expedition, and Major Expedition increasing your movement speed. The good thing about this is you can use it to get away. Like it gives you movement speed so you can get away, get around corners. But also there is a vampire passive. I forget what it's this one. While you are at Vampire Stage 2 or higher, we are Vampire Stage 3. When you leave Sneak, Invisibility or Mist form, your weapon and spell damage is increased by 300. So what I usually do going into a fight is I use this, get up the 5 stacks of that, and then I move into the fight using Mist form, and then I'll come out of Mist form, crit charge in, and start jabbing. And then with the weapon and spell damage buff you get from this, the weapon and spell damage buff you get from this, and the weapon and spell damage buff you get from Clever Alchemist, you get jacked up. So yeah, and then people can never escape you, especially if you are a swarming scion. This ultimate, you transform into a monstrous creature of the night, instantly healing you to full health. While transformed, your max health, magicka and stamina are increased by 10,000, and you heal for 17% of all damage you deal. and you can see enemies through walls. We went for the morph that has the bat swarm around you. So again, we're going into that playstyle where you don't let people escape ever. So you buff yourself up with these, you buff yourself up with Clever Alchemist, you become an unkillable monster, and then you rush in with crit charge and you spam jabs, and then they get hit by the bats as well, and people drop super quick and panic, and yeah, everyone screams in terror, and it's great fun. So yeah, that's all the skills. One thing I will mention is, because we're using Clever Alchemist, I didn't talk about the potions. You can probably notice on every single one of my builds, I'm always using Immovable. I feel like these are so good for PvP. They just let you, they let you get your burst down. Say like if I pop one of these, I become immune to knockback and disabling effects for 10 seconds. I'm in my monstrous form. I'm crit charging. I'm jabbing. People can't kill me. They can't slow me down. You just become an unstoppable force. So I use this, and of course with the detect pods as well, to deal with Nightblades. So I will just show it off quickly. We pop this. As you can see, the stacks start going up, and as you can see, my health barely even moves. Then we go into Mist form. And as we come out of Mist form, we use the ultimate, pop a potion, and as you can see, where's my cursor gone? There you go. We can get up to 7k damage, 20k penetration, and you just start jabbing people and crit charging people, and you know, there's no stopping you. You get close to 50k health as well, and yeah, then you just reset and do it all again. So lastly, we'll talk about the champion points. Greed tree is usually the same, just stuff that adds time to your food and stuff, and I always make sure I have the, I talk about this a lot, where is it? The break fall, to reduce your full damage taken. You fall off a lot of cliffs and keeps in PvP, so you know, 35% reduced full damage is quite handy. The blue tree, first off, we're going for a cult overload. This is an absolute must-have, if you ask me. Whenever you kill an enemy under the effect of a status effect, they violently explode for a total of 12,800 oblivion damage. Oblivion damage is just flat damage. It can't be nerfed, it can't be resisted or anything. We don't have many things in this build that add a status effect to an enemy, but it doesn't have to be your status effect. You know, if somebody else is hitting them with burning or, you know, anything like that, and then you kill them, they still explode, and then they kill everybody around them as well. It's an absolute must-have. Going for Ironclad, reducing direct damage. Biting Aura, increasing the damage done with aerial effect. So I believe this is my Puncturing Sweeps and my Ultimate Bats. And Focus Mending, increasing your healing done with single target heals. And finally in the red tree, we're going with Boundless Vitality, increasing max health. Rejuvenation, you probably don't need this. This is a flex spot. You probably put something else in there. Pain's Refuge, reduces damage taken for every negative effect you have on you. And Slippery, another flex spot. I think you could probably change with something else. We had that for to save stamina, but we have more stamina than we need, so you could probably change that. And there we go, there's the build. It's so much fun, it's an absolutely unstoppable force. Nobody can stop you, you're a terrifying monster, and it's just so much fun. I hope you enjoyed. And that's the build. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me for this long. Remember to do all the things like leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel, of course. If you want to check out my werewolf build, I'll leave a link in the description next to a link to my Twitch channel. Thank you all for the support as always. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.